Imagine a billion people not being able to see at night because there's no electricity, other than a flashlight or some harmful fuels they're using to either have light or cook with.
I think back to when we went to Haiti to work on a school there, and we were rushing against the clock to try to get the project done. And it's dark. It's dark in this school because there's no electricity. And I remember looking up at the director, who was standing on the outside of this concrete wall, and there's a light bulb right above his head. And as we're racing against the clock to get this solar system in place, all of a sudden we click it on, and the smallest glow from that light bulb starts to illuminate. I was so overjoyed to see these men dancing in the middle of this courtyard with this little light bulb. We have light, we have light. Do you know what this means? The kids can actually come to school and they can learn, and we can have computers. Do you know what that means?
On our last night in Fontaine, I sat down with the Haitian electrician who was leading the project. And he wanted me to know about how solar power could transform his country. He said, every day the sun pours down on our country, and it's a waste of sun. All we need to do is to harvest it. There was a study done by a Notre Dame student who found that students with solar lanterns in Haiti spend up to 22 more minutes per day on their homework. 22 minutes might not sound like a whole lot of time. If you take those 22 minutes and you multiply them out across 150 days in a school year, you get about 2 extra weeks of education. That's significant. Education enables people to look for opportunities and be ready for them when they come.
Let's Share the Sun Foundation provides solar installation for free in these communities. Otherwise, they would not be able to afford it. And electricity will change the livelihood options. It changes the way that lives are lived.
It's really about making the world a better place, and that's really the core of our mission. It's amazing, 15 people installing 18 panels in 5 days. The delegations are dynamic mixed groups of solar professionals with students, and then a lot of times parents of those students and anybody that's interested in making the world a better place.
I think the thing that motivates me most about Let's Share the Sun Foundation is that it's so real. We've actually gotten on airplanes, lived in some pretty miserable conditions in some pretty miserable places. And we have moved the needle for the people that we've interacted with.
I think as we grow Let's Share the Sun, building experiences to see, to hear, to eat with people in places like Haiti, Puerto Rico, Nicaragua, Liberia, those experiences change them for life.
The idea that Bill and Nancy had from the very beginning, it was important to them to get Haitians involved from the ground up, to the extent that they could offer jobs, to the extent that they could source their materials from Haitian companies. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted this to be a project that not only brought light, but actually helped Haitians begin to grow their economy.
Let's Share the Sun foundationally provides hope, and that might be the biggest key.
You change one life, you change 10 lives, you change the lives of 100 families. There's nothing small about that. And I think Let's Share the Sun makes it very, very specific. It's an illustration, it's very real. You could see these solar panels, you could see what it does to the community, you can see how it changes the life of the community.
It's not about us. Personally, Let's Share the Sun, it's about us. Humanity. It's about raising people up and the sacrifices that are necessary to do that.
Change happens one person, one family, one community at a time.
How many years did Andrew Carnegie make steel before he created the foundation that put all kinds of museums and schools across the United States and changed our cultural landscape. How long did the Rockefellers drill for oil before they created the Rockefeller Foundation? Bill and Nancy Jordan did it from day one. As Nancy put it, you don't wait until you have everything that you need before you begin sharing it with others who need it more than you do. Bill credits Nancy with this conviction. She said, Bill, we need to start a foundation that will take the idea and the work that you're doing, your enthusiasm for solar, and make a real difference in the world. If you're going to do this company, we need to tithe from your revenues to fund the work of this foundation.
10 years ago we started, and it was Bill and Nancy Jordan and friends of theirs. Now we are at a point where we are partnering with universities, the University of Notre Dame Energy Program. We're collaborating with different state agencies such as ACE New York, which is Alliance for Clean Energy in New York, with NYSERDA, with different solar professionals and their companies.
I think there's a lot of solar companies that would agree with the mission of Let's Share the Sun, and if they wanted to help out, donating some of their employees to go on a trip and sharing them with Let's Share the Sun for a week or so would be a great way that the company could give back, could encourage solar in a place that might not have it.
My hope is that we never lose the anchor that giving back entails, remembering the least of our brothers and sisters around the world. We are building those bridges that are making the world a better place and fulfilling our lives.